Hello, everyone. Jonathan Sarr with the Juvo Hub podcast. This is part 7 of my 8-part series on learning theory. Disclaimer, I am not an expert on learning theory, not anyone in particular, but I have certainly enjoyed over the years learning about learning theory and how it helps me as an educator. And that's the purpose behind this series, as I've never talked about it on this show before. We've had tons of educators on this show, and they're all brilliant. But I wanted to share some of my personal experience with researching this particular discipline and how it has helped me, and I am confident it will help you. Today, in part 7, we are talking about social learning theory in the workplace. So social learning theory. So this comes from the theory is from Albert Bandura, and it highlights that learning happens through observation and interaction. So fundamentally understanding what that means especially in the workplace, since there is so much social interaction, how does one person's behavior affect the other person's learning? It's really interesting. How can mentorship programs, like if you have those, like really what are the benefits that come by a mentor in a curriculum? So it's a really fascinating study. We don't learn in isolation. Like there is a measure of retention when it comes to learning, but you think of how a baby learns a new language, how a baby learns to do everything. For the most part, it's by observing, it's listening and trying to do. It's awesome. I love it watching my grandchildren as they've grown up. My youngest grandson, he's 11 months old at the time of this recording, and just seeing him, how he watches his mom and dad and then picks it up. It's just amazing. We're social creatures. So this is not really, I don't see how much of this being a theory as it is. That's just that's the way we are. But it's part of this series because we don't want to overlook it. So resources will be available. I have a couple of articles that I'm going to post, as has been in previous episodes. There's like a deep one that really like deep dive into the topic. So I have this one article from Sage Journals that is got a ton of resources, ton of references, so ton of different papers associated with it. I'm going to put it in there just because there's a ton. Actually, no, I'm going to not put it in there. So strike that. I'm looking at it. Sorry, taking it out. Not enough information in here because they want you to buy stuff. Sorry about that. I mean, look it up if you want to buy stuff. I'll put it in there. It's okay. Never mind. I'll put it in there. If you want to buy something, go for it. But I was reading through it, then didn't notice that you have to go buy things, but that's okay. Good resource. Ones that you don't have to buy anything. I put down, let's see here, Learning Everest. So that's another one. The implications of Bandura's social learning theory. And another one from Simply Psychology that just talks about what is social learning. So a nice deep dive if you're interested in learning more about it. So check those articles out. How can we apply it in this episode? Well, let's just talk through, like, what is it that we're referring to when it comes to social learning? Mentor programs, very popular. Tara Samuels, I will make sure she's referenced in this episode because in our industry, she has an incredible mentoring program going on. So definitely check her out. I'll have a link to her site and how you can sign up if you're looking to be a mentor, if you want to be mentored. And I've met a lot of incredible people that have been mentors to me and that offer themselves as mentors. So great model, because that's essentially what we're talking about. Social learning, watching what someone does, doing peer modeling, shadowing someone, all of that's involved. And that's a huge implication for an adult learner. And especially when they have zero experience at something. They have the skills to be able to retain the information. They may have a background, but the particular application of how that is done in your workplace, the fastest path is a mentoring program. And when you think of like turnover in a company, some may say, I don't have the time, I don't have anybody available to do it. But then you have someone that does not feel like they are fully trained on how to do something, and they last just a few months because it's just frustrating to not know exactly what they're doing or how to do it. Never a bigger pain point when it comes to employee turnover is the fact that they just do not feel trained in order to do their job. So that's where mentoring truly comes in. And that's part of social learning. Couple other key components when it comes to social learning: observational learning. So what are you doing in a team environment? Are you encouraging that type of learning? Observe, watch how your fellow people in this job title, how they handle. Pay close attention to these few. They have more experience. You're going to learn a lot from watching them. Observational. And then we can think of those collaborative environments where teams are working together to learn, doing knowledge sharing. So I'll stop there because, again, I'm not an expert in it. However, I have been in it. I have been a mentee. I have been a mentor. I've been on those as facilitator at those tables where we're trying to solve things as a team. So understanding that is a critical component to learning, social learning, is the purpose of today's episode. So what are we doing with that knowledge? How can we use social learning? How does this type of learning differ from traditional learning? What do we need as an opt-in from leadership in order to proactively promote social learning? And what do we have in our disposal from a technology standpoint that can help foster social learning experiences? So take a look at the references. Again, that first one's got a bunch of paid things in it, but I'll leave it up to you if you want to go deeper. I can't vouch for it. I haven't bought anything from it, but I will put it in there since it is a very highly trusted source according to the internet. But a couple of other articles that will also provide some context to that. And definitely check out Tara Samuel's site, which I'll also have a link to that in the notes. So thank you, everyone. Remember that as human beings, that's part of who we are. Learning is social. We learn so much in a social environment. So make sure you check out my notes. And if you have any experiences you'd like to share, thank you for doing that in advance. If you want to be in the show, reach out to me. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like. And if you're on the podcast version listening to this, then please give me a review. Appreciate your support of the show. Take care, everyone. See ya.